Shalom Israel. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, all honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakadash, that brought the apostles and elders great millstone teaching us his truth. Peace and blessings to hopeful like to Israel, and Shalom. Yahweh is the name of the ancient Hebrew. Ba'ashem means the name, and Yahushai is the name of the begotten Son. Back on lesson, and today we're going to be going to what's coming to heathen nations very, very soon. Maybe it's title or something to that effect, but ultimately going to how you're going to pay for everything that you have done to the nation of Israel. And when I say nation of Israel, I'm talking about the 12 tribes, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. You're going to pay for all the atrocities, the rape, rob, and murder, and all the bloodshed you have spilt of the Lord's people, man. You're not going to escape your judgment as these heathen nations like to do, especially mainly these devils, man. Just trying to sweep these things that they have done under the rug as if nothing happened, man. Trying to pay us with reparations, with money, you're going to pay, man, and your blood is required. That brings me back to Numbers 35. So as you see in the title of this video, it says black man whips white man with his own whip. And guess what? You heathen nations are going to captivity for all the things that you have done. As it continue for days that leave in captivity shall go into captivity. He that killed the sword must be slain by the sword, if you're paraphrasing. So all the things that you have done to us, hey, guess what? It's going to return upon your own head, man. Y'all that do us in captivity, well, guess what? You're going to captivity yourselves. So I'm going to play this quick video, and I'm going to jump to a couple scriptures that came to mind, and Lord said I found this, and don't want to make this super long. Which, I mainly saw this video on TikTok, which I had it saved, and then, once I was about to, create the lesson, it was deleted. So I had to, search it up, and this is what came up, but it finishes off.
No, hey, do not be aggressive. Are you fucking serious? Where's the diamond?
As he is what's coming to you, man. You are going to pay for all the things that you have done, and we're going to get the scriptures, man. Because you have a lot of people that have a misconception and like to think that the Lord loves everyone, and that everyone's going to be saved and delivered in these times to come, which is not the case. Multiple scriptures going to how, also with the scripture, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. Also in the scriptures going to have not dealt so with the nation as with Israel, if you're paraphrasing. The Lord's not dealing with everybody. He is dealing with a specific people, the nation of Israel, the 12 tribes, man. Not with the heathen nations, man. And guess what? You're going to pay for touching the apple of Yahweh Shemashai's eye, man. So, get up to the scriptures. Don't want to make this super long to get to the main points. And Lord said, once again, but the Revelation 13 and 10 says, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killed with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. Plain and simple, man. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. And guess what? Who threw us into captivity? These are the nations, Esau, Edom, these Moabites, Ishmaelites. All these different nations I see that are not Israel, man. Yeah, you have people that say, oh, whoa, didn't you enslave your own people? Africans, enslaving Africans, which, those Hamites, man. So you see, like, these devils like to twist narratives as if we're doing it to our own people and all that, man. To escape, the things that they have done, man. Ultimately, to escape their judgment. Guess what? You're not going to escape, man. That's multiple scriptures going to. You're going to lose, and you're not going to prevail, and you're going to be taken out very, very soon, man. And the rest of the heathen nations are going to captivity also. It's got Isaiah 14 and 2 through 4 to go more into it. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. Let's get the first verse, because you have people saying, oh, why didn't you get the top verse? It says, for Yahweh Shemashai will have mercy on Jacob. Did he say the rest of these different nations? No. For the Yahweh Shemashai will have mercy on Jacob, as Jacob got his name changed to Israel, 12 tribes. And will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. And the strangers talked about right here are going to the Israelite foreigners. So they shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. So you're not going to have these heathen nations cleaving unto us and be up close with us, man. But verse 2 is just going to these heathen nations. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. And what does that sound like? Slaves. And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were. As we just read in the book of Revelations, the 13th chapter, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. And when you look into all the history, the things that we have been through as a people, and all these nations that threw us into captivity, and all the things that they have done to us as a people, that's what they're going to pay, man. Finishes off. Shall take them captives, who captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. And well, I guess we get verse 3 also, just to go more into it. Yeah, so, and it shall come to pass in that day, the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow and from thy fear. Excuse me. Shall give thee rest from thy sorrow and from thy fear, and from the hard bondage wherein thou wast made to serve. Which, we were punished, man. This is what our punishment was for worshiping these false gods and for going off and disobeying Yahweh Shemashai. We were sent to captivity. This was our punishment. And now you're starting to see this punishment slowly starting to lift. Now you're starting to see the curses that were on us slowly seeping onto our enemies, many heathen nations. Verse 4, that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon, and say, how hath the oppressor ceased, the golden city ceased. They're going to be taken out very, very soon. Let's book of Deuteronomy 30:7 to go what I was just talking about. And Yahweh by Shemashai thy God will put all these curses upon thine enemies, and on them that hate thee, which persecute thee. And guess what? None of these nations like us, man. There's this one certain video going to these basketball players, which was a bunch of Jakes. I believe they're like near China. I believe they're in China or somewhere close to that over there. When they were leaving and getting off the bus, you had these Moabites just screaming the N-word, man. Making fun of their skin color. These heathen nations are going to pay, man. We weren't shown mercies. Guess what? It's not going to be shown to you, man. And Yahweh Shemashai is a just God, a just power, man. And once again, you're going to pay. You're not going to escape your judgment and escape the things that you have done. Especially have a bunch of these heathens out here saying, oh, well, I didn't own any slaves. Well, I didn't do any of that. Well, you still had to pay for your fault for all the sins, man. And you even, which can you want? Obadiah chapter 1, verse 15. I was going to make a point, but that'll be a whole nother lesson. But it says, for the day of Yahweh Shemashai is near upon all the heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head. So all the things that you've done to us, guess what? It's going to return upon your own head, man. You threw us into captivity. All this bloodshed you have spilled of our own people. Guess what? You reap what you sow, man. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killed with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here's the patience and the faith of the saints. Once again, you are going to pay, man. I constantly repeating that. You are going to pay, man. You're not going to get away with the things that you have done, man. You have a bunch of these heathen nations. You're living it up, man. As if they didn't do anything, man. Pointing fingers at us. Going back to when the 19 originally started. Who was the fingers pointing at? These Moabites, man. These Chinese, these Japanese. The fingers were pointing at them, and people were, staying away from them and all that. But somehow, some way, all the fingers pointed at Jake, man, us. So-called black people, so-called Mexicans, Gad, the Native Americans. All of a sudden, it was pointing at us, and we're the ones that were, more, infectious, catching it more, and, getting more people sick from it, It just shows you how wicked this place is and what these nations think of us, man. Read it one more time. Obadiah 1:15. For the day of Yahweh by Shemashai is near upon all the heathen. All the heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head. Once again, you're going to pay, man. You're not going to escape the things that you have done. And we're going to read here, Isaiah 60 and 10 through 12, to go into how you're going to build our kingdom, just like how you made us build your kingdom without, money, without profit, slave labor, man. And the sons of the strangers shall build up thy walls, and their kings shall minister unto thee. For in my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor have I had mercy on thee. So you're going to have these heathen nations build our kingdom. Just like how they made us do it, man. Verse 11 says, therefore thy gates shall be open continually, they shall not be shut day nor night, that men may bring unto thee the forces of the Gentiles, and that their kings may be brought. Their riches, their goods, their kings are going to be serving us, man. These are high esteemed men over here, these elites. Guess what? You're going to be our slaves, man. Bowing at our feet, man, especially to Yahushua. And guess what? Y'all that don't want to bow down to Yahushua and worship the Heavenly Father, guess what? You're going to be cut off, man. Verse 12, for the nation and the kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish. You're going to be destroyed, man. For the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish. Yeah, those nations shall be utterly wasted. When Yahushua returns, we're going to conquer these nations, man. Scripture's going to how, Lord, to be come back, and having, many crowns. Lord, to be dethroning you false kings, man. Alright, these last, actually got a lot. Okay, Revelation 2 and 27. And he shall rule them with a rod of iron, as the vessels of a potter, and shall they be broken to shivers, even as they received of my father. So we're going to rule over the nations with a rod of iron, man, with the staff. As we just got in the earlier chapters in Isaiah, the 14th chapter, as servants and handmaids, you're going to serve us, man, and you're going to be under us forever, man. Especially after that 1,000-year period, that 1,000-year captivity is served. Esau Edom is going to completely be wiped out, pursuing back to the book of Obadiah. But that, yes, that's a whole nother lesson also, which I may make kind of a part 2 or a whole nother lesson going into it itself. But look at Revelation 11 through 18. And the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, and the time of the dead, that they should be judged, and that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants the prophets, and to the saints, and them that fear thy name, small and great, in the main point right here, and shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth. Who is destroying these earth? Esau Edom, man. Going back to Job chapter 9 verse 24, the world is given to the hand of the wicked. Who is the wicked? Esau Edom, the so-called white men today. Also going back to Genesis 27th chapter, 39th and 40th verse, to go into his blessing, which was the fatness of the earth and the sword. And this devil is going to pay with his blood, man. He's not going to just escape the things that he has done, especially these nations, man. You're not going to escape either. You're not exempt. Because you took a part in hurting Yahweh Shemashai's people, man. And enslaving the Lord's people, man. Numbers 85 and 33. So you shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. Your blood is required. You're going to pay, man. For all the rape, rob, and murder, all the atrocities, and just the wicked and abominable acts that you have done, you're going to pay, man. And let's go with these last 3 scripts I got. To go into, just a little bit into how Lord dealing with the nation of Israel, man. Was the book of Matthew, the 15th chapter, the 24th verse. It said, but he answered and said, I am not sent, but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Yahweh Shai is coming back only for the Israelites, specifically the elect. Because 2/3 of our people are going to be destroyed. And this side brings back to Zechariah, the 13th and the 8th verse, I believe, to go into that. But one more time, but he answered and said, I am not sent, but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. The Lord only coming back for the Israelites. I just get the NLT. It says, then Yahweh Shai said to the woman, I was sent only to help God's lost sheep. And who is that? The Israelites that lost their ways, that were calling themselves the other nations. It says the people of Israel. There you go. plain and simple, man. The Lord's not dealing with every single nation, man. Psalm 147 and 20 to add on to it. He has not dealt so with any nation, and as for his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye Yahweh. As you see right there, he had not dealt so with any nation. Right here, I should have got 19. It says Psalm 147, 19. He showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. 20th verse, he has not dealt so with any nation. So showing you the Lord's not dealing with everybody, man. He has a chosen people. Going back to the book of Deuteronomy, how I have chosen you to be a special people unto himself. You know, a peculiar people, you know, above all nations that are upon the face of the earth, if you're paraphrasing, you know. All right, let's close out with the book of Sirach, the 25th verse, or the 25th chapter and the 7th verse. But it says, there be 9 things which I have judged in mine heart to be happy, and the 10th I will utter with my tongue, a man that had joy of his children, and he that liveth to see the fall of his enemy. And what we're doing, man, we're living to see the fall of this devil, man, these heathen nations, man, to be taken out and to be in our rightful place, man. You know, for Yahweh B'Shem Shai's kingdom to be set in place, man. For these devils to be taken out to actually be able to live and to enjoy our lives, man. We can't wait for this place to be destroyed, man. Because you also have people that will look at us calling us crazy, you know, for wanting this place to be destroyed, for wanting thermonuclear missiles to completely wipe this place out. You know, we're looked upon, you know, as crazy, man, as lunatics. You know? But hey, destruction is coming, man. So, pretty much hit the main point of that lesson. You know, just saw the video on, you know, TikTok and, you know, want to make a lesson out of it. Which I believe is kind of a old video. But either way, the point still stands. You devils will pay, especially you heathen nations. But once again, Lord, when you're edified, I do want to give all praises, all honor and glory to Yahweh, B'Shem Shai, B'Shem Kadash. That one of the apostles and those great Muslim teaching us his truth. Peace and blessings to all of Israel. And Shalom. See you next one.